Welcome to a pod of Wings and Filth, where two voracious fantasy readers dive into the magical, gritty, and sometimes downright filthy world of fantasy.
In this podcast, we chat about our favorite fantasy books, from dragons and magic to the dark and twisted corners of fantastical realms.
I'm Heather, and I am so over people hating on different genres just because it isn't their jam. Let people like what they like. You are not superior.
And I'm Morgan, and I believe that Tower of Dawn is a deeply underrated book in the Throne of Glass series. Justice for stale kale, if you know, you know.
We've got a lot of opinions, a lot of passion, and even more books to talk about. So grab your favorite brew, maybe a magical artifact or two, and join us as we get into all things magic, wings, and a little bit of filth.
Content warning, expect spice, swearing, spoilers, and strong opinions on dubious character choices. This is an adult show meant to discuss adult things, unfiltered for an adult audience. Today's episode will contain spoilers for all of Quicksilver by Callie Hart. So if you are not ready for unhinged fandom energy, turn back now. Otherwise, spread your wings, grow your horns, and let's get filthy.
Hi, Morgan. How excited are you for this? Not excited, I know.
I love this book.
It is so much fucking fun. I know the first time I read it, I think afterwards, I think what I said to you was, that is the most fun I've had since I read The Fourth Wing.
Yes. And this is one that I wish I could go back and reread for the first time all over again.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Yes. Gosh. Okay. So when I started this is the third time I've done this one this year.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
This is only my second reread, but 3 for you.
I think I got the audiobook was on like sale like 6 or 7 months ago for like
maybe
$7 or $8 or something. So I bought it immediately and
Smart.
then I listened to it immediately. It was great. I was listening to Kingfisher.
We're going to get into it.
We are so getting into it. But I remember when I started it, I was in one of my mood reader moods. So I had like 5 books that I was starting. And I'm like, I don't know which one to start right now. And it was at the end of 2024. One of those books was Red Rising. I know that for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And then this was one. And I started the first couple chapters of all of them. And I probably told you this, but I was like, why are all the books that I'm starting so horrible? Like every place these guys are in are the most miserable, awful places to live. And I don't know which one to go to, which my 5 books I had, they were all awful in the beginning.
And funny.
Yeah, this one was though. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Okay, wait, before we get too deep into the story, please read us your beautiful summary.
My beautiful summary.
Mm-hmm.
Here we go. Today, we are diving into Quicksilver by Callie Hart. In the scorching, sand-choked kingdom of Zilvaren, water is a luxury, survival is a gamble, and secrets lurk behind every wall. Saeris Fane is a skilled thief who will do whatever it takes to protect her pain-in-the-arse younger brother and chase her dream of freedom. But when she's captured by Queen Madra, the ruler known as the Undying Queen, Saeris discovers the terrifying truth. Her blood carries Fey magic, a power thought extinct thousands of years ago. Dragged into the Fey realm, Saeris finds herself surrounded by danger and decadence. A cruel and desperate king, a curious princess, and the vulgar, yet delectable, Kingfisher. A Fey warrior who saved her life and has now become her reluctant mentor, keeper, and temptation. Really, take your pick. Under Kingfisher's harsh guidance, Saeris must learn to control Quicksilver, a living, volatile metal capable of tearing open the veil between worlds. But the more she learns, the more tangled their fates become, and the harder it is to deny the fire that is sparking between them. Saeris is thrust into a storm of vampires, court politics, and brutal magic. Every choice carries the weight of two worlds, and every heartbeat brings her closer to transformation. By the end, she is no longer the thief who stole to survive. She is something new, something fierce, half Fey and half vampire, who by accident has also become the queen of vampires. Oopsies!
Oh my God. We'll get into that twisty ending, but holy shit.
This is a fucking roller coaster.
When I first picked up this book, and I have actually seen in a lot of people's reviews, this is a common critique. I don't think it needs to be a critique. I think it's just an observation. The beginning is slow. The beginning feels slow. It is slow paced, but you are stuck intentionally, I think, in the like absolute desperation of what it means to live in Zilvaren, which is horrifying. And very thirsty. And I know we've been talking about trying not to make these episodes too political, but also when these fantasy books are going to be political. And so when it's here, feels very pertinent to right here, right now in the fall of 2025 to be controlling people's food or water intake.
Hey, you guys, have you noticed that it's the villains that do this in stories?
Yeah, just a reminder, if you're the people controlling other people's food and water intake, you're the bad guy.
Yeah, just to be clear, once more, you're the bad guy. Okay,
Anyways,
moving on.
I think both of us, one of our first notes was about how much we hated Hayden.
That fucking dick. Oh my God, I'm so glad you feel the same way I do. He
He's such
deserves
an
nothing.
idiot.
I know. And I don't understand the coddling of him either. This is a small critique too, because one of the things that I think Callie does really, really well is makes all the characters stick to exactly who they are.
Mhm.
It does feel a little bit like, I don't feel like they would be coddling him. I don't feel like in that world they would be necessarily quite as much as they are. Saeris in the actions and everything that happens, but I mean the whole, no, let him have this, youthful
Mm,
look at the world a little bit longer. He's a grown man, okay?
yeah.
He's a grown man in a desperate bad place. You are
I
enabling bad behaviors, all you're doing.
wondered if that was a little bit of column A, a little bit of column B, where like, yes, she is enabling him, and also he is an idiot. And I don't even really mean that to be insulting. Like,
No, he
he's
is. Like,
just not smart. Like, she's the smart one, you know? She's cunning. And certainly she has had to be. We can talk about that. To be a woman versus to be a man in a world where, like, absolutely there's layers of misogyny and patriarchy there. Even in a world ran by a queen, we can have patriarchy. He's just stupid. Like,
he is.
so I had a hard time jumping fully on the, like, this feels unreal. I think it felt real to me. It just made me real mad. Because, like, how many of us know a man in our life who has gotten away with being a fucking idiot and, like, is perfectly fine for it?
He absolutely is dumb. There's no
Mhm.
question about it. Morgan is right. This guy is just dumb, y'all. He is. And that's why it's so frustrating for me. I admit I don't have a lot of patience for that. That's where
I don't either.
it comes in for me. I just don't, because you can't explain things to an idiot.
Mm-mm.
But on top of that, he weaponizes it. He uses it to get
Yeah.
what he wants all
Yeah.
the time, because he knows that his sister and Elroy, they are going to cover up for him, and
Yeah.
they're going to clean up his messes.
Mhm.
And this is learned behavior.
And he gets to just bumble along.
Yeah, and I get it more from Elroy, but Saeris, I feel like after a while she would literally just punch him in the face. Be like, this is enough.
Oh,
maybe we
to be fair, I
haven't
think
gotten to the point in the story where that's happened yet, too.
I mean, I think there have been moments where she has,
Probably.
but the blaming of Carrion for sucking him into the gambling, I'm like, okay, yes, Carrion is cunning and manipulative, and he is shitty in that way. And oh my God, are we going to talk about how fucking multi-dimensional Carrion Swift is as a side character? Holy shit.
Yeah.
Because my experience of him on a reread is so different than my experience of him on the first read. Like, night and day.
Same.
Completely different experiences.
Same.
But also, yes, Carrion is manipulating him. He knows it. Hayden is also just being an idiot and knows he gets to fall back and trust that his sister and Elroy are going to clean up the mess, which is so wild then when so he steals the bag or whatever and has the gauntlet and is surrounded by the guardians, and he kind of tries to self-sacrifice himself, and he doesn't even put up a fight when she does it back.
Exactly.
And that was the like
That's why for the rest of the book, I'm like, just leave your fucking brother. No, you don't need to save him. Let him learn. He needs to learn to save himself. That was my mindset.
that was also a really beautiful moment. We're jumping ahead a little bit, but like when she is giving the Quicksilver a secret, and that her secret is that as much as she does want to go save her brother and Elroy, what she really wants to do is she wants to bring them back to Yvelia, and she wants to be here. And I thought that was actually a really beautiful growth moment for her.
Yes.
Like, yeah, that was like shame and a deep secret of hers, but really it was like, no, I'm just like more me here. I get to be more me here.
Yeah.
I really liked that.
Well, because her job has been protecting him their whole lives. I get that as an older sister to a younger brother who needed me to hit him in the back of the head multiple times also, and still does on occasion. I get that. And maybe that's where a lot of my frustration comes in too, because I'm like, why? It is very frustrating, but like Morgan said too, it's believable.
Just annoyed by it.
so annoying and it's so frustrating because you as the reader can see that there are ways to correct the behavior. But you're supposed to feel that way too. You're supposed to feel frustration. You're supposed to feel stuck in this world. Like she can't actually fix anything. She
Which
has
is true.
Yeah, she
She
can't. She's
doesn't have the
trying
resources. She doesn't have the
constantly.
access. She has
No.
no means.
And she also makes poor choices, like stealing the gauntlet.
She sure does. She makes some poor choices in Yavelia as well.
She sure
in
does.
the Fae Court, like not keeping her fucking mouth shut.
I empathize with that, but we
Girl.
get Yeah. The point is though, you get thrust into this world right away.
You do.
There's the tone, like Morgan said, it is really hard. I think it's not even necessarily because it's slow moving at first, because there's a lot of action that happens. I think it's just because it feels so oppressive.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
it feels everything, the weight of everything is really, really heavy. There is these first few scenes while they're in Zilvaren are not fun.
They're painful. They're
Yeah.
really painful.
We're laughing right now, but it is part of the reason we're so frustrated is because we're like, oh my gosh, you're making a bad situation already worse.
So much worse. Exactly.
And even Carrion, when Carrion is very much so a Han Solo type of character to me. He's a scoundrel. And I think he kind of, Han Solo definitely helped shape my attraction to red flag men who are scoundrels and rogues. But they're kind of good guys. They just do some bad things. They break the law a little bit. That's all. Yeah.
I had the first time I read Quicksilver, which was, I think, sometime last year, probably last fall. I hated Carrion.
Fair.
I was like, get the fuck out of here. You are also making a bad situation worse. You are so annoying. You are trying to talk her into a sexual situation she doesn't want to be in. Take no for a fucking answer, my guy. You have you just know that ego, right? Like, and he's annoying as fuck. Now, he goes on a journey. Where he ends the journey at the end of this book is a fucking wildly different place than where we start. But at the beginning of this book, I hated him.
Because we have no idea. I fully admit, though, that when he was propositioning Saeris, I'm like, I'm same as her. I'm sitting there going, this is bad for you, but it'll be fun for a little while.
It won't be worth it. No, it won't be worth it. Don't do it.
No, it won't. No. That's the first moment because those are the first thoughts that go through my head. And then I'm like, wait a minute. No. Bad girl. You stop that. And that's kind of what Saeris does.
Yeah.
That's kind of she's like,
she had made a mistake. She learned from the mistake. She's never going to make it again.
Yep.
And also, damn, she's still paying for that mistake.
She will forever. She does you don't think that it's going to come up again. I mean, at first you don't know if he's actually necessarily the potential main male character in this. If you haven't,
I was worried. I was worried that he was. He's not, thankfully.
If you have no information about this before you start it, he's presented as the potential main male character in this. And that was problematic for me too. I'm like, because like I said, I have the initial attraction, but I know better because I've lived a lot of life at this point. She's still
not
very
touch
young.
That man with a 10-foot pole. You couldn't make me. I can't do it. Oh,
but she's also not 18 years old. She's 24 and she's lived in a world that made her grow up very fast. So she does have some wisdom and she has some weaknesses and she makes some poor mistakes, like stealing the gauntlet and riding Carrion, which hopefully was, I imagine it was at least a good time.
I'm sure it was a good ride.
I'm sure it was a good time.
Not worth it, but a good ride. Like, I understand.
Yeah.
Not worth it. We're going to come back to not worth it.
Guys like that, they are running in circles with their red flags, my friends.
Yeah.
They are.
Yeah.
So,
and out in the open, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. They're like, this is who I am. They're telling you. They will tell you. They have no problem telling you. This is who I am. No, don't fall for it.
Well, and when we're still in Zilvaren, we get this tiny little inkling that she has some magic in her. She pulls a dagger and she can feel the metal. And I will admit, the magic in this world is one of my favorites because it's really not out in your face, but it is so creative.
It is. It's so different. And
I
like
have not
not
seen this.
Face.
I've not seen this anywhere else.
Nope. That was one of the things I like about it. Morgan definitely loves magic more than I do. This is one of my favorite ways I've ever seen magic done.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like hardcore alchemy stuff that you gotta know about. You're learning as Saeris learns throughout the story. But it's kind of mystical to everybody else too.
Mm-hmm.
Which is they don't even fully understand it. Like the fact that it's fucking sentient.
Yeah, the Quicksilver is sentient. And then when you find out at the end, we already did our spoiler warning, but when you find out at the end that maybe the voice of the Quicksilver is these gods, that she's been hearing, but also it's not. It is, but it isn't. Like,
What a
it's so
mindfuck.
fascinating.
It is. It is.
I love it because the gods play such a small role in the majority of the story. And then you find out at the end they played actually a very big role in the story.
On page, they're referenced, but it's not like a huge impact. She's even like, oh, your gods are a little different here, but their names are close. And, oh, there are
Mhm.
moons and blah, blah, blah. There are payoffs for everything.
There are.
There are
I
more
would agree with
questions
that.
at the end. There are a lot of questions at the end, but we get a ton of payoffs. And oh God, yeah, I did not see that coming. And I've
Mhm.
read some other Kelly Hart books.
Have you?
Yeah, yep. I don't mean it in a bad way.
Sure.
She writes mob and like assassin guy sexy stories. Yeah.
Like mafia stuff.
The one he's just an assassin. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's just
An
violent.
just totally. Yep. I read the entire trilogy. It wasn't bad. And I read it after Quicksilver because I'm like, I have to read some more of the stuff she wrote.
Yeah.
I see a lot of these romantasy and fantasy female authors too. They start that way,
Mm-hmm.
which I totally get also. But some of them end up being really, really great. They're the types of book covers that have men with no shirts on them.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay?
Yeah,
I think that everybody understands what I'm getting to with that.
Well, so interestingly, I was going to bring this up at the end, but you brought it up now, so it makes sense to talk about it now. Speaking of book covers, the book cover of Quicksilver has gone under a lot of scrutiny.
So weird.
We are recording this in November of 2025, and Brimstone, the second book, is about to come out. It has not come out yet. It's one of the reasons we're recording this now. She is doing her press tour for Brimstone, and I didn't know this. And I will admit, when I read Quicksilver, I didn't know anything about Callie Hart. It was just another book talk list book that if you liked this, you would like this. And of course, it's great. I'm really glad I did. I'm obsessed with this book. So recently, I think it was the summer, when they announced the cover of Brimstone, which is gorgeous,
Yes,
they re-released a different cover of Quicksilver to match it. And it is very different from the original cover. So the original cover has an image of Kingfisher, our very mysterious, dark, fey warrior, where there's there's like a tear of
the
silver on his face.
Yeah.
There are butterflies flying around. If you know the story, you understand those markings, but it looks, I don't know how to describe it. It looks very much like a more fluffy, romantasy cover.
Yeah.
Than the book is.
Absolutely.
And apparently, so Callie Hart has said in some of the press tour, people have asked her, why did you change the cover? She said, because people fucking hated the original cover and gave her so much hate for it that they completely changed the cover and therefore changed Brimstone as well. And I'm curious your take on that. I hate it. I'm so sad for her.
Me
It's a beautiful
too.
cover. Don't get me wrong. The new one is gorgeous. It's so
I like the
cool.
new one more. I like the new one more. And I admit, the original, when I saw it, I'm like, oh, it's a little cheesy.
Sure.
For me. For me,
Mhm.
it's a little cheesy. And I
Mhm.
don't think, while everything that's on it makes sense, I don't think it's an accurate representation of what you're going to get to in the book.
I agree. I agree.
So I
It
think
feels
that
a little misleading in that.
Yep. So I think, because I didn't hear about this until the last week also,
Mhm. Mhm.
don't see it as being that big of a deal.
No, it's not that deep. Don't get me wrong. You and I have joked before, judge those books by the covers all you want. I don't care. Sometimes the cover is
Yeah.
what draws me in. A pretty
too.
cover and pretty sprayed edges will draw me in. The internal cover of Songbird and the Heart of Stone is gorgeous.
Oh, it's so beautiful. Yeah. I will pick up books all the time because I like what they look like. I will read them too and say, oh, well, that looks like something I would also read. But what gets me to pick it up in the first place? What it looks like.
Yeah. But it makes me sad that then people are being turned away by
Yeah.
something they think they won't like. And so this, I don't know. I think it's an interesting conversation. I'm so sad for her because apparently she designed that original cover herself. It was deeply meaningful to her. And I'm sad she got so much hate for it.
Because it's unnecessary.
It is unnecessary. That
Don't
kind
like
of
it.
criticism is unnecessary. I will say, I agree with you that it feels it is different than what's in the book.
It's hard to equivocate, right?
Yeah.
It really is, because it's a fucking personal thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's personal to each of us. Just like Morgan and I were literally just talking before we started the show that, because we read something a certain way also doesn't mean that other people are going to read it the same way.
Exactly.
It's the same thing with looking at stuff like that.
Art is subjective.
The most important thing about books is it's about what's inside. Like,
Exactly.
it's what's inside. Like Morgan said, if you're going to turn away from it and go, that looks silly. I don't want to read that. I don't like that cover. That's fine.
That's fine.
Absolutely fine. You're also missing out. But who has that kind of time also to go on the internet and complain about a book's cover?
That you haven't read, potentially?
Yeah. Go be cruel to the creator for no
Yeah.
fucking reason at all.
Get out of here.
That's what I have an issue with. It's not the opinions around it. It's the way that people react to things that they're not happy with or don't like. The entitlement of it is absurd.
Right. I deserve something that I think is better. And it's your problem that I didn't get it. When really it's like, get the fuck over yourself.
Yeah.
Like, this artist thought that art described her work. A lot of people disagree. That's okay.
Again, everything she has on it makes sense for the story except for the tone.
Except for the tone.
The tone is off. That's it. And that's not bad. And I've never looked at it and gone, I'm going to make fun of it either. I've gone, that doesn't really suit it, but it's fine. That's fine.
Yeah.
It's not that deep. It doesn't have to be that deep. It's like we talk
Doesn't have
about
to be that deep.
when we do on our buddy reads, when we do the freaking ratings and we read them. Like, there's no reason to be intentionally cruel
Exactly.
because you didn't like something. If you had something that literally, like, personally offended you on a deep level, I'm here for you. I will listen to it.
Yeah, we're not talking about, there's no swastikas on the cover of this book. Like,
No,
that's different. No, we would call that to attention.
fucking lootly.
That's
This is
hate.
not the case. Yes,
Right.
this is just artistic integrity. Stop
Exactly.
being so mean, people. Find something more to do with your time, honestly.
Truly.
Like, listen
Go-
to our podcast.
Do literally anything else. And also listen to our podcast. So one of the tone things that I think is so different is how light it is. And really, this story is dark.
Yeah,
This
because
story is
after
so
you
dark.
get out of Zilvaren, it's fun.
It's fun.
It's so much fun, and bad things happen, and there's tension,
Mhm.
and you're still excited and concerned. You don't know what the stakes really are because everything is so up in the air, and you don't totally trust everybody. So there's like this whole entire, I have no idea what's going to happen. I didn't know that we were going to go travel to another world. Everything gets flipped upside down. So I no longer am in control of it. And I'm just like, okay, I'm just here for the ride.
I'm here for the ride. And also, man, that girl survives almost death so many times. Like, truly, all of my organs on the inside are on the outside, almost death.
Yep. I give
She's real
Saeris
resilient somehow.
Saeris has like John Wick vibes for me, where she might not be the strongest or even the smartest, but she gets by on sheer fucking will. She really does, because she is determined as shit and stubborn as hell to
She
her own
is very
detriment at times.
She is very stubborn.
But
Girlfriend.
she is, it so gets in her way often. I empathize, but she's great. And she is different from a lot of other female main characters, which was another thing that drew me in. I'm like, right away, we have someone who's flawed in ways that make sense for the world that she lives in. We see her vulnerabilities right away. It's her brother. It's the people she cares about. We see that she has a hero complex, a deserved one, an earned one, but she does want to save the day. She just doesn't think things through.
Correct. Again, that stubbornness shows its ugly face here. Yes.
And she also has a mouth on her, and I love that.
I
Love
love it and I hate it. Because this is where I think her mouth, for me, interacts with her intelligence in a way that grinds a little bit. I'm like, girl, you are smarter than this. You are more cunning than this. Shut the fuck up.
Nope, she lets
You
her
know
temper.
better. Exactly.
The funniest thing too is a lot of the things that she gets frustrated with Kingfisher about are things she's totally guilty of doing herself.
Sure.
Yeah, like
Sure.
particularly the shit she says, which I find
Those
like
aren't quite as vitriolic, I would say, especially at the beginning.
no, but it's saying the wrong thing at the wrong time.
Sure. He's a little crueler about it.
He's so intentionally cruel though.
He's a bastard.
At first he is, and at first I'm still like, I want him to stay around.
Yeah. I wrote this in the buddy read. We've been deep diving a lot of Carissa Broadbent books. If you've not listened to our deep dives, please go listen to our deep dives. They're great. But Carissa Broadbent writes a green flag man who you think on the surface is red flag. He looks like a big, broody, scary vampire guy. But really, he's just like the swooniest, most green flag guy you've ever seen. Kingfisher is not that.
No,
Kingfisher is a red flag.
he is.
He is a bastard to her at the beginning. You find out why at the end. I don't necessarily think it justifies it.
I'm still mad at him about it. He has to make it up to her in the next book. Which he will.
Exactly. He will. I trust that. I deeply trust that. But damn, man, you are a bastard with a capital B to her at the beginning.
Yeah, we find out what. He's
Mhm.
a shit to her because he already knows that she's his mate.
Right. And she doesn't know that, though. And he knows she doesn't know that.
Yep.
Which is really cruel.
Yep. He finds out she's human, though. So he's like, I can't do this. Not only am I fucked up and all this shit's going to happen to me, but that's not fair for her. She has a short life. This is all wrong. And he overreacts and then he overcorrects. So he tries to make himself unlikable to her. And he does a terrible job of it because
she's kind of attracted to the red flag.
That's it. Like that's why her attraction to Carrion at the beginning is important to everybody. We are developing a pattern here. And as a former red flag girl, as I mentioned, I empathize and I had to learn the hard way just like she did. So she's attracted to it, but he also can't fucking stay away from her.
No.
And that's the thing. Like wherever she is, he is soon. But he's a son of a bitch to everybody.
He is a son of a bitch to everybody. There's a lot of secrets getting in the way of him feeling safe around the people he loves. Again, there's like a lot of logical reasons you find out why he's such a bastard. But it is, to me, this is always the conversation of like, when you have maybe mental health challenges or you are struggling with something or you're going through a hard time in your life, it is not actually an excuse to treat the people you love like shit. And we have a tendency, especially in our society, to excuse it away because you were struggling. There's a difference between giving grace to that and excusing mistreatment. And enabling mistreatment as well. And this feels like the ultimate example of that. There are really good reasons why he is being a fucking bastard to everybody and being terrible and awful. He has been bound by this oath. He cannot tell them why he was away for many, many, like over 100 years, trapped in the enemy's clutches kind of thing. And all of a sudden he's back and he can't tell them why. He's bound by this oath. There's a lot of magic around it, but also, my guy, they just want to love you.
Yeah. He definitely, and that's one of the things that I got in this read through too, towards the end and seeing it much more, standing back and watching Carrion's journey is also so much fun. It's also very interesting to watch Kingfisher's when you know all of these other things. And you can see his struggle a lot more. And now I definitely feel like it is, especially once he gets to the camp. Now I fully understand he doesn't feel worthy of any of them or anything because of what he went through. At first, it felt very, very haphazardous, like just part of his grumpy, curmudgeon, son of a bitch attitude type thing.
Right.
And yeah, you find these things out at the end, but processing them after doesn't kind of set in the same way now. Now I'm really, really, really seeing him. And I empathize with that. But Morgan's also 100% right. The bad behavior, there is a reason for it, but it's not an excuse to behave that way. And he does realize that at a certain point. So
he does.
I think the next book, while Saeris is learning how to be queen of the vampires, is going to be him working through a lot of that because we get Kingfisher point of views.
We do get Kingfisher POVs. The end of my book has one chapter of Kingfisher. Does yours too? Okay, great.
Yep.
And then I think Callie on her website has released other Kingfisher POV chapters. I have not read them.
I might have.
I will read them before Brimstone comes out.
Yes. So I think we will see that more. But I know that both of us have talked about loving redemption arcs. I think both him and Carrion are going to be big on the redemption train in the next book. But the setup for it is great. And that's the other thing we have to recognize here too. This is a first book in a series.
Yeah, I don't know how many. I don't know that she said. It's not like with
A
Rebecca
set amount.
Yarros. She said this is a 5-book series. I don't know that Callie has said how many books will be in this, but Brimstone is the next. And yeah, I think it is beautifully set up for book 2. to answer a lot of questions, probably explore more places. And also how.
I don't either, but I didn't know where anything was going in this either. I mean, sure, I figured out some stuff, but I did not see so many things coming. That was so much fun.
Mm-hmm.
You guys know I love being surprised. It's such a fucking joy and delight.
It's so good.
And there was just one after another because there was no, it's like Morgan said too, in the beginning, it doesn't feel familiar. Like nothing, not the pacing, not the settings, not even the dialogue or interaction with the characters. Everything is very, very new and different, which holy crap, what a freaking breath of fresh air just for that.
The two of us alone have probably read, 400 fantasy books? That feels like a low estimate, but
I wouldn't even say just the last couple of years.
Yeah, exactly. Since maybe 2020, between the two of us, we've read maybe 400, 500 fantasy, romantasy books. To have found something so new, so unique, so creative, it's such a joy. And it's not to say that I don't like familiar tropes. There are, right? We have, this is not Grumpy Sunshine, but it's certainly enemies to lovers. It is certainly Secret Chosen One.
Fated mates. I didn't see that coming when that happened. I was so delightful. Feet were straight in the air.
And that is a creative fated mates. The tattoos happening on the bodies. Yeah, I was kicking my feet in the air like a schoolgirl. God, I loved it. But such a creative breath of fresh air take on some of these very familiar tropes and storylines. I loved it. I didn't see fucking vampires coming from a mile away. I had no clue that we were going to intertwine vampires. And that, shockingly to me, I wasn't ready to like that when I first read this book. The second time I read this book, I've read so many more vampire stories. But when I first read this, I hadn't done a lot of vampire other than maybe Carissa Broadbent. And damn, those are creatively written vampires.
They're creepy, scary monsters. And there are different kinds of them too. Oh my gosh.
I loved it.
Unlike Morgan, I have read a lot of vampire stuff.
You are way more vampire than me.
Yes, I have experience. I was a teenager during the 90s vampire explosion. Yes. So I have had vampires in my stories for a very long time and can say with full authority, these are very original. And it was a surprise to come in. I was like, I've decided I like it when they show up unexpectedly. And not in a traditional way. Yeah. I mean, you've got Fae. Why not have vampires?
Well, and interesting, right? The vampires are, this is the twist on it, right? The Fae are the original sort of magical beings, and the vampires are cursed Fae. They have been cursed with the vampire. Nature. Yeah. That's how I would say that. It's a blood curse. And then there are Fae who have been cured. There was a cure. We have since lost the cure. I'm not quite sure how we did that. I hope we get an answer to that in Brimstone in the second book. But that was so creative. I was like, oh, so there's these similar bloodlines, these similar families. The setup is very similar, and yet it's so different in the actual outcome. It was wild.
So cool. It's so cool. And I love the whole thing too. And you pointed this out, which I thought was really, really clever, was that the Fae still have the teeth and they can still drink with them. But like Morgan said, they're referred to as canines with the Fae, but fangs with the vampires. Well, the Fae don't have to drink to live, but the vampires do. And that makes them predators. I thought that was really, really cool note to pick up on because it's a subtle thing, but it also says a lot.
Yeah, with just the difference of one word. And it was interesting because I just hadn't ever noticed that before, where when we talk about Fae, we typically talk about pointy canines or sharp canines, and when we're talking about vampires, we're talking about fangs. And but in reality, they're the same. Those are the same teeth.
And they do the same thing.
They do the exact same shit.
They're both there to drink blood. They are, it's also, she says, bite me, Kingfisher.
Yeah, so in a very different 180 from some of the other books, this is very explicit sex.
Yeah.
And I'm into it.
Totally fucking here for
filthy.
It is 100. Kingfisher has one of the most filthy mouths I've ever heard on page.
The way he taunts her and teases her with his filthy mouth. Oh my God.
And the confidence, it's not arrogance. It's confidence. There is no question that what he says is going to happen is going to happen.
Mm-hmm. Well, and again, we talk about he's a pretty red flag guy most of the book. And in reality, this is actually a he falls first
Yeah.
love story.
Yeah.
We don't know it until very close to the end.
We know he's sexually attracted to her. That's it.
Yes.
We know that there's a sexual attraction, but that happens.
Right. And it's the first time they have sex, one of his tattoos from his body transfers over to her body. And he dismisses it. She's like, what the fuck? I have a tattoo? Like, do I get to keep, can I remove it? Like, I didn't choose this tattoo. When really he knows she did choose that tattoo. She just didn't know that's what she was doing by enjoying sexual relations with him so much in the intimate way that they did.
Yep.
And that, of course, he knows that they are fated mates. I don't know that he knows that they are God-bound, which is sort of the
I think
next
that
fucking
happens.
level.
Yeah, I think that happens
Happens
after
later.
after she accepts the mate bond.
And they get all the runes and stuff.
Yes. What I think is kind of clever and cool, aside from I love the tattoos thing anyway.
It's really cool.
Nisha J. Tooley, she also uses tattoos often with magic and that kind of thing in her stories. And I love the way she does it. This is different. And I think that's what takes it from being just this like really, really hot and intense. Like we just came from Songbird and like this romantic, beautiful.
So woony, gushy, lovey.
Love both of these. And they are totally polarized from each other. But what the tattoos during these sexy sessions does is it does make another connection between them. And even though we don't know why in the beginning that she's getting the tattoo on her, we know enough to know that there's something fishy going on here, though. And we know that their connection is much deeper than that. Did I jump to fated mates? No, I didn't, because their magic is so different. Yep. Yeah. Their magic is so different. And at that point, too, it did just feel kind of like this built up sexual tension. And they're going to either kill each other or fuck each other. And they chose to fuck each other.
And I think, said this earlier, because the gods are off page, like they are this brief little thing, because they are so not present on the page in the story, I wasn't clocking fated mates at all, which I know a lot of people have, mixed feelings about fated mates. And, I do too. I think it has to fit the story. Fated mates in a story where it just feels like they are falling in love because of the fated mates thing. Boo, boo, thumbs down. Falling in love and then they find out they are fated mates. Fuck yeah. All day long, which is what this felt like.
That's when it's the best. Or when one of them knows and the other doesn't. Like Rhysand. My God, the kick that you get at the end of that because you know what he's been toiling over. And Kingfisher is similarly understanding that. So he has to deal with that. Also, there are so many characters in this book. A lot of times as an author, many people give you instructions say, no, you don't introduce new characters 2/3 of the way into the book. They have to be introduced in the beginning. Yeah, fuck off. We do what we want.
Fuck off. Do it whenever you want.
Yeah. And this is a perfect example of it working and learning new characters, including villains. That's another thing. There are multiple villains in this that we learn about on the way. And we're going through them like one at the beginning, one in the middle, and one at the end. And then all of them at the end.
And then all of them at the end for a reason you would have never seen coming. Like, Madra is a bad queen of the human lands in Zilvaren, right? Like, she is a bad queen. She is starving and they're dying of thirst in the desert, right? Like, and they have a water ration.
And they have enough water and food to feed everyone is the thing.
Absolutely, they do, right? Like, the people at the top are more than well cared for, right? There's plenty to go around. She is a unequivocally bad queen. Just on that alone. Belican is a bad king. He's cruel. He is power hungry. You can tell he doesn't give a fuck about his warriors who are fighting this war against Malcolm, the bad evil vampire on the other side. He is cruel to Kingfisher, who is his stepson. He's just a bad king. He is an evil villain all on his own in that way. Same with Malcolm. Big, scary vampire bad guy. You find out at the end, they're all fucking working together. That was such a good plot twist. Like,
brilliant. And it made sense. It
it
wasn't
made
just a,
sense, but
yep,
I didn't see it coming, and I was
no.
slapped in the face with it in the best way possible.
Yeah.
Oh my
And
god.
going through it again too, I'm like, were there hints? No, there's not hints, but you know what? It still makes total sense.
It still
Makes
fits together perfectly at
Yep.
the end.
And when you start hearing the backstory, like, oh, Kingfisher's dad is the one who brought Carrie in there, why his sword was there, and why the Quicksilver was closed, and why all the alchemists have been killed. Like, so many questions are legitimately answered, even
Mhm.
though there wasn't necessarily clues to the end. I
Yeah.
think that's awesome.
It was brilliant because, again, I like a good breadcrumb situation where I can go back and be like, ooh, this moment was actually a clue to that. I love a good Easter egg. Fuck me up. I'm clearly a Swiftie. I love an Easter egg. But this, there are none.
No,
I had
not
no
for this.
idea that, like, finding out that Carrie Ann Swift is the secret Fae heir.
What?
And has lived in the human lands in Zilvaren for 1,000 years. What?
Yeah, there's been many grandmas, and the Swifts are really stubborn women.
I loved that. I did love that. I really loved
Carrion,
that.
after you've read the first time and you go back, Carrion is so fucking hilarious.
He's so funny. I genuinely hated him for the majority of my first read of this book. Like, I genuinely was like, get the fuck out of here.
I started to like him more once they were in the camp. I started to enjoy him a little bit more then, but
Sure.
it took a bit.
It took a bit,
certainly
and that
took a
just
bit.
felt like comedic relief, which it
Yeah.
is.
Yep.
And that was fine.
Yeah, he was kind of a Riddick in there in a way, but Riddick is likable.
Exactly. A little less likable. But he's funny, but it was just kind of like, okay, why is this guy still around?
Yeah.
And
Yeah, he
then
was the one character that I'm like, okay, what? He didn't bring Hayden back. Okay, it's funny the reason he brought him
he
back.
could have died in that first vampire battle and it would have made sense.
And it would have been a great sacrifice too. It would have raised the stakes. Oh, here's a character that we thought had purpose here. Well, he does have purpose, just not one we could have possibly
Ever
seen coming.
predicted.
No, but also going back and looking at his story from the beginning now, you can sit there and see all of those points and go, "Oh, that makes sense. Oh, that makes sense." Like it all adds up. And yet there was nothing about Carrion's story that would have led you to believe that this
No,
is
the
who he
one
was.
singular only clue, there's one, and that is it, and it is a small one, is he's not as blown away that the Fae exist.
That's true. He
His
adapts super
grandmother
easy.
kept the books and taught him about the Fae, but that is it.
Yep.
That is
Saeris
it.
even comments on it once. She's like, "Why aren't you freaking out more?
Mhm.
Like, why are you fine with this?" And he's like, "Why not? I'm good here. I've got food and water and blah 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 blah. And sex with the fire sprites." Yeah, he's still banging everybody.
I mean, that part of his character never changed. I appreciated
No,
it, even though I hated it. I appreciated it.
I know,
It was consistency.
but again, it was like one of those moments where you kind of look for things. You're like, first of all, Kingfisher going back and his whole, "I had to fight 50 guys and I got him. I'm never going back to that shitty world again." That had me fucking rolling.
Yeah.
My
Well,
God,
and
it was so
especially
funny.
she gets so mad. She goes, "That's not my brother. You brought me Carrion fucking Swift." Like,
Which is the last I'm going, yeah, why did you bring that son of a bitch back? I didn't
Right.
want him to bring Hayden. I was
No, I
was
didn't
totally
either.
like, please don't bring him back. Tell me he's dead or something.
I mean, like, I wanted it for her because I wanted that to be able to be closed and I wanted her to be able to move on. But I was glad that he didn't bring him back.
I was glad that he didn't because it would have just put her back to the same person she was there, protecting
Exactly.
him. She
And
had
she
no
needed to
room.
change.
Yep, she needed to grow. And that was like you said early on, when she came to the conclusion herself that she didn't want to go back. And she would like it if they could come here. I was like, yes, that was such a good moment. And that would have never, ever happened if he would brought Hayden back instead of
Yeah.
Carrion. But
Exactly.
all of these things have purpose and intention, and they served the story without also like being plot devices.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's not easy to do.
No, Carrion ends up being the one who points out to her that she could ask the Quicksilver to change.
Yes.
That scene had me laughing out loud. Not even just chuckling under my breath. I was cackling. That shit was so funny.
Like any of the scenes when they're together at the forge anyway, Those are some of my favorite because they're really, really funny.
They're really funny because she's going through this like intense emotional journey, right? She's has to create these relics. She doesn't have to create the swords. The swords end up being a
No,
byproduct of it.
and she wants to too. At this point, she wants to help them. She sees what they're all going through, and they're people to her now.
Well, and she's seen the vampires on the other side. She's like, holy fucking shit. Yeah,
Yes.
I would want to get away from that. And so she's going through this intense thing. She cannot get the Quicksilver to do what she needs it to do. She's trying to do these very purely, actually, I thought it was very sweet, very purely scientific experiments, trying to
Yeah.
bond the different elements and different things to make it a relic. And Carrion goes like, well, have you ever thought to just like, you said it's sentient. Did you
Just
ask?
ask it. Yeah. Like it's the most obvious thing in the world. It's
The way she refuses to answer him, but does answer him by walking down to go do the thing. I loved it.
and then he ends up being right. And then he ends up being right, which is the best part.
Well, and the jokes she makes along the way, because when she's talking to the Quicksilver, it's all in her mind. And he goes, when you're making the like stupid constipated look, can I assume you're talking to
He has zero filter. It is literally brain to mouth. And it's a delight. If you didn't like Carrie in the first time, read it again.
read it again?
You're gonna love him. He's really great the second time around.
He unfortunately grows in a very,
Yes,
very
like fungus.
meaningful way.
Grows like fungus.
Like the moss that his dick gets scrubbed with.
He was scrubbing me a lot.
I will admit, that was actually an interesting solution to a problem that exists in a lot of other fantasy books with Fae, right? The whole thing is that Fae have magically enhanced senses. They can hear better, they can see better, they can smell better, they can taste better, they can do all the things. And when you are intimately related with someone, you may get, pheromones and scents all over each other. And it's one of the reasons that Kingfisher finds Carrion, because they had sex one singular time.
And it was a while ago, is the funny thing.
A while ago, and he can still smell her, which I do think that might have been extra enhanced because they were mates. I think
Probably.
that feels like one that I go back and forth about. But in all of these stories, in order for her to not be a virgin, which I did appreciate, she was not a virgin, what do we do about the fact that that smell is still there?
You have to scrub
We
him
find a magical
lot.
solution to it. We scrub his dick with magical moss.
and give him boots.
Kingfisher is so offended that he smells like her.
Yes. Because he figures out why, which you don't know this at first. That's the funniest part. You don't know until it's fully confirmed. It's fucking hilarious.
It's so funny. And it's just one of those moments where, like, this is a pretty dark world. Like, there's a lot of horror going on. There's a lot of war. There's a lot of scary shit, big scary monsters, all of this. But these humorous, like, bits, they make it balance perfect. It's not too heavy.
And that's exactly it. That's why it ends up being so much fun. It doesn't take away from the emotional investment in any of the characters either. If anything else, it enhances it, I think. But yeah, like, and even Kingfisher's like jealousy of him, it's not typical. It ends up being funny. Like the food. Don't you share food with him again. He's just gruff. The battles he picks are so stupid.
They're so stupid, but they're funny because they're so stupid.
Exactly.
And again,
perfect.
he doesn't, like, his jealousy of Carrion that he has slept with her is not, it would have been really easy to write him just being angry at her. But he's already angry at her. He's already pushing
Their
her
whole
away.
relationship is angry. Yeah. It's just
Truly, there's a lot of heat. And so he doesn't need to be like jealous, lashing out at her for that. But he has these little moments, like being annoyed that she shared a plate of food with Carrion Swift.
It's just quiche. Also, they'd never heard of quiche in Zilvaren, apparently.
It's so funny.
Quiche is Fae. You guys didn't know? The Fae invented the quiche.
Eggs in a pie crust. Did you know?
Okay, so speaking of angry and unreasonably so all the time, I have to bring up the one character that I have a little bit of a problem with, but for, I think, reasonable reasons. It's not the character so much, it's Danya.
Yeah. No, I agree with you here.
She comes into the story and she's just a rage monster.
Mm-hmm.
And Lorith, who I love Lorith. Lorith is great. I would read a Lorith spinoff novel. He's so wonderful. Lorith balances her really well. So the dynamic of those two back and forth works. It's also a really good way to kind of get to know both of them by seeing how they interact with each other in volatile situations. But she is just so unreasonably angry. And at first, and this is the part where it's really good, at first it seems like, is it because she's jealous? Because I don't want that. I hope that she didn't sleep with Kingfisher. Please don't do this to me. Super relieved that that wasn't the case. She's just pissed that he's been gone. She's pissed because that bitch wakes up pissed.
I think she's just angry all
Yeah.
the time.
My issue isn't any of those things. It's that there aren't a whole lot of warrior women in particular in this story. And
Yeah.
the
At
one
least
you
not
put
any
in,
others on the page.
yeah, not yet. Not
So
yet.
we don't have confirmation or, we don't know if there are others, but
Yes.
that's
But
probably more
so,
credit than is due.
yeah. So far, all we have really is Saeris in that capacity. So to make the one female warrior
Mhm.
have to fight with our main female character and then carry on and carry on and carry on, I was disappointed.
Yeah.
I was
It's a
just
bummer.
disappointed in
I
that.
think it's a
Yeah.
bummer.
Yeah. I'm
And
like,
and I want to believe, my eternal optimist is that she gets some sort of redemption in book 2.
I hope so.
And I hope it is earned, I will say. Because yeah, she sort of like what we were talking about earlier, where like Kingfisher doesn't get an excuse for treating everyone like shit just because he's gone through these like horrific horrors. I didn't want them to do that to her either. And they did. They excused her being honestly just a raging bitch
Yes.
for these reasons that they make sense. I get it. But you are just enabling bad behavior. Like the fact that she has not seen any real consequences to this.
That's it. That's the problem. There were
Mhm.
none through the whole story. There still is none. Like
No.
even when she
No,
loses
she
her
gets her
hand,
hand back.
yeah, they shouldn't have done that. I'm like, no, she should suffer that consequence. Don't give her hand back. Please, please, please.
Or she has to earn that later. Like I wanted her to
Something.
earn that later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Depending on what the intention of the future of her character is, because I have no doubt she'll be in the next book. Maybe she'll end up becoming a big antagonist because
Well, maybe.
Saeris is a vampire now. And I mean, that's going to be a point of contention no matter what. I didn't know.
Yeah.
I have no idea how the fuck they're going to work this out, but I can't wait to find out. Like there are so many directions that they could go in with her. I just wish it wasn't the one female warrior that had to be the big bitch.
I
It's
think
just a
I
little
understand
nitpick.
why it wasn't a male character. Like I think we had enough male warrior exposure with, especially grumpiness with Kingfisher and Renfis and Loreth, and we had enough characters there. We just didn't have enough female Fae characters to balance it out. We only had Everlane and Danya. Like those were really
And
the only.
and Taylina, but she doesn't come in until later, the healer.
And she's a healer. Like it's just different.
Yeah, and too, that was another thing I did like though, that Saeris felt jealousy towards her.
Mhm.
But she didn't aim any anger at her. Once she decided that there was more between her and Kingfisher, only then did she even kind of ask any questions.
Right. I was
So
like, you could have gotten curious first, though.
Yep, I would have, but that's
Mhm.
me. That's me. But
I don't live in this world. I'm not a Fae. I'm not a magical human either.
maybe one day. Maybe one
Mhm.
day we'll get swept away, Morgan. I will open the Quicksilver and get you if I go. If it's a good place.
Yeah.
It's a good place. If not, I'll just send you messages.
It gives me some curiosity for where we go in book 2. And especially having invited and gotten to know so many new characters throughout the course of the book, like that doesn't stop until the end. Because we even get a new character. We get a new witch character.
Yes.
We get Isabel. And so I'm like, okay, we have so much more. We learn more about Taladius, the Malcolm's second in command, who actually ends up being a good guy. Like we get a lot of new characters at the end. So I want to believe that we get either more from Danya in a way that hopefully makes it a little more easy to read her character on the page.
Hope so. I
it was
really,
hard.
really do. My fingers are crossed. It's either we need to have some redemption for her or we need to turn her into a villain.
Yeah, or
It's
she got to go bad. Mhm.
Or just die.
Or die.
Yeah.
That's also acceptable.
Yeah, but one of those 3 things I feel like needs to happen. But that
Mhm.
being said, it's one very small thing in a book full of tons and tons of stuff and really,
Fair.
really great characters otherwise. Like Morgan said, like
Absolutely.
how many come into the end there? Like I think in the audiobook they call him Teledias, I think.
Okay, great.
That's how they say it. But I also think it's fine to pronounce it however you read it.
Yes.
But he's literally just in the end there. And we know who he is. We know who he is.
And
we
he
know all
becomes a
these
very big
people.
deal at the end. Like he's a very big, important character at the end. In many ways, he's important to Kingfisher. He's like part of what kept Kingfisher even remotely sane while he was trapped in the labyrinth for so long. That was such a fucking sad storyline.
The labyrinth and explanation for where Kingfisher had been and all of those people who are trapped. My God. You're talking about swallowing a lot at once, too.
Mm-hmm.
All of our main characters that we love are in peril at this point. Carrion, Lorith, Saeris, and Kingfisher are all there.
Mm-hmm.
And this is when we discovered that the three terrible rulers are all
Working
connected.
together.
Yes, yes. And they have been all this time. Audra, I guess, had a falling up, but she's like, shit happens. Which also, she totally is, though. She's insane.
She's insane. She's creepy.
She is.
Like, you want to be the most scared of Malcolm. I think that's like the most obvious. I was really scared of her because she felt the most unhinged.
100%. Well, I think even amongst the three of them, they kind of recognize that. That's why she did what she did. Now, I want to ask you something about Malcolm and his relationship with Kingfisher. Do you think what happened?
I do. I do. Because he calls him his love at one point.
He does a couple times.
Yeah.
And Saeris notes it.
Uh-huh. And I don't think she would note it if it wasn't important.
Nope.
I think we will find out some more potentially sexual assault trauma from Kingfisher in book 2. And I'm devastated for him. That's fucking sad, man.
Me too. Me too. I think one of the things I hate that our characters have to go through it, but one of the things that I do appreciate about this, and I did in the Nightborn duet too with Rain, is we are also showing that this also does happen to men.
Yeah.
And the shame that they have to carry with it is also different even in these magical worlds. But I like that it's being addressed and it's being normalized to discuss and talk about because it does. Especially when it's these like big, powerful, grown fae warriors and vampires and egos. Yeah, all of these complex things too. That is still the thing that people, men mostly, will do to take away your power. At the end of the day, that is the go-to right there. Yeah. It's so gross.
It's so gross. And especially when you think about, I mean, of course, it's awful on its own in any context, in any way. But the way he was trapped in that labyrinth for 100 years, 110 years, I think they say. As we don't know, there's so much left on the table for what could have happened during that incredible amount of time. We don't know how often that happened. We don't know in what context that happened. We don't know if there were deals or bargains that tried to be made through that horror. Like, we don't know. But holy shit. And then for the fucking coin to be hidden that spider thing the whole time.
No shit. By the way, that was wicked creepy.
Yeah, sure fucking was.
It was like spider legs with fae body, and then he was bald but had no eyes.
So many teeth.
Or like, ears and all the teeth.
Like shark teeth. Like rows and rows and rows all the way to the...
Yeah, so if your hand goes in and you pull it out, it's going to get shredded. But the whole labyrinth thing too, it was terrifying, but I loved it. I
did love it. It was really creative. And the chorus of voices, right? So anytime Saeris taps into the Quicksilver that is trapped in Kingfisher's eye, because he went through the Quicksilver without any protection, she hears this chanting, Anarathmore, Anarathmore, Anarathmore. And the first time he realizes that she hears it, he's like terrified. He has a fear response. And we never really get an answer to that until this end. This is truly one of the twistiest ends I think I have ever read.
Agreed.
And I love a good ending fantasy plot twist, but like, damn, this one was creative and it took me off guard and I didn't see it coming and it didn't feel like I was being pantsed either. For the sake of it. It was just good and well done. But you get into this amphitheater and there are thousands, potentially hundreds of thousands of these fae who are stuck in a perpetual burning state, not allowed to die. We're chanting this thing, which means let us go. Let us go, let us out, something like that. And that's why his Quicksilver chants like that. Like, my God.
The torture.
The torture. It's all interconnected. I love it.
And those are his people. Yeah, and those are his people. Those are his people. And Malcolm wants them so he can take them and make them part of his army. Like, the levels of sadisticness involved here are just insane.
It's so depraved.
Completely and entirely. Like, Callie, are you okay?
Yeah.
I'm just...
Blink twice.
We've read a lot of messed up shit. This is definitely up there on both on the page action messed up and also emotionally devastating at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
It was all of those things. I think what makes it so great too is because you have that investment in the characters, you're emotionally there, you feel all of the heartache and pain and fear, but also there's this level of adventure and also you have to keep going. Oh my God, if they stop, they're going to die. And we don't want any of them to die. And at that point, I had no idea who was going to live or die.
Nope. No
None.
fucking clue. No fucking clue. I thought maybe Kingfisher would die. Like I could have seen that going that way, where she killed a main character at the end. And to be fair, she
Did
does.
kill Saeris. Yeah.
She did kill Saeris. She then is saved by becoming a vampire.
Yes. So also moving forward, Saeris shouldn't almost die anymore in Brimstone. We should have the other characters have their
Other
shooting
people
death
need to be
moments.
in peril.
Yeah, she's definitely had enough now.
We know what the inside of her intestines look like.
Don't ever want to
In
know what
detail.
I know. No. Oh, it's so good though. But oh my God, yes. Like that's how you know you're definitely done. If your insides are on the outside, you're cooked, baby.
You are cooked. Okay. At the end of all of our buddy reads, we read our favorite 1-star and 5-star reviews. Would you like to read the 1-star or the 5-star?
Well, I'll read the 1-star this time. I picked a DNF. This one is from Storygraph. I did not pick this one because it was a good explanation. I picked it because it was funny and dumb. Oh, this is her name. I'm not making this up. Annoying Mama 88. This is her review. The chapters were too long. DNF. Like,
Huh?
so we were literally just talking about giving any kind of context to things or reviews or like the covers of, okay, if you're going to talk some smack about something, fine. I mean, at least they did DNF this.
They did DNF. It's not a 1-star. Yeah, I will give that.
But it's also untrue. Like some of the chapters are very short in this.
We disagree on this. I agree with this. I wonder if this is different. I don't know if you read the physical book. I read it on my Kindle.
I did too. I read it on my Kindle the first time.
Some of those chapters say they're 24 minutes long.
Really?
Yeah. Like the ones that are short are short. They're
them.
like 5 or 6 minutes. Great. That's a short chapter to me. But like there were 2 or 3 in a row, especially towards the beginning when you're in Zilvaren and things like that, where like that's a 30-minute long chapter.
Okay.
Would I have DNF'd it for that? No.
Okay. Then maybe I'm mistaken. I didn't even notice. Like I noticed the beginning in Zilvaren felt long, but I thought that was intentional. I thought you were supposed to feel that way, so you would feel relief when she was no longer there.
Yeah. Well, and you don't, it's not until I think it's like maybe halfway through the book that some of those longer chapters have like a break in them. I, as a completionist, I do struggle sometimes with long chapters because I read right before bed. And as the completionist, if I'm reading before bed, I want to finish at a chapter break or at like a natural break before I go to sleep. So with some of these longer chapters, if I don't know there's a break coming, I won't start that chapter because it's too long. I will fall asleep. I'd rather read it tomorrow when I'm going to be awake.
Okay, that makes total sense to me. I stand corrected.
Sure. I mean,
Absolutely.
she still could have written like maybe a little bit more to it.
Yeah, yeah. But this is also a perfect example of people having different experiences.
Sure.
Because I didn't feel that. Certainly not after Zilvaren. So also that a lot of the other ones that I read for the most part did kind of like if the DNFs in particular were in Zilvaren. And those I understood. This one made me laugh because I thought it was silly, but maybe it wasn't silly and I was wrong. So I can accept
also,
that.
like, it's so stripped down. That's it. That's the whole review. The chapters are too long. I'm going to read the 5-star because it's really good. So this looks like it's a Goodreads one from Bailey Latham. 5 motherfucking stars. I am screaming. This book is worth all the hype, all of it. It deserves more. It has it all. Magic I've never read about before. Found family that I suspect will continue to get better and better as the next 2 books come. And emo shadow daddy, a badass FMC that has survived by the skin of her teeth and plot twists galore. For all those comparing it to ACOTAR, the series may end up being even better. I said it. So freaking good. No boring moments. And I am chomping at the bit for the next book. This is one of my favorite books of the year and it will not move from that position. Also, Fisher! I love him. 10 out of 10 recommend. Read it.
I thought that was perfect.
Yeah. And I wholeheartedly agree with you, Bailey.
Yep. 100%. I love this. We talk all the time about Fourth Wing being a really great introductory fantasy book. If you're not a big fantasy person, it's a ton of fun. And I were literally just talking before the show that it's like we haven't met a person that read it and said they didn't like it. This is the second book I would recommend.
I think you're right. I think Quicksilver is absolutely up there because it is so, like, it's action packed, but there's also a lot of character development. Like, it is a really good balance of character driven and plot driven. I think that's the same, I would say, with Fourth Wing. It's one of the things that draws people in. There's like enough good character development that you like the people and you care about them enough to keep caring about where the plot takes them. But yeah. And Quicksilver is one of those like unexpected ones. Because again, you don't know you're getting vampires halfway through.
No, I didn't know I was getting half of what I was getting. I literally, one of the only things when I read it, I got it on Kindle because I was like, I'm not buying all this hype necessarily.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, I don't want to do that. But at the same
But
time,
I am buying those shiny covers.
I am. Yep. Me too. Now I am. I'm going to have it
Those pretty
everywhere.
bitches.
I love it.
Gorgeous.
I love it.
It's so pretty.
So beautiful. But I didn't anticipate any of this. It was such a delightful, bloody surprise. And yes, tangible for everybody. So I guess now with this one, I will have to do the first season warning. You do have to get through Zilvaren. For anyone that struggles at the beginning to get past some heavy stuff. If you haven't read it, also, we just told you everything.
Just true. If you're listening now, you've been spoiled. But
you've been so spoiled. But if you're recommending it to someone else, I would definitely say,
gotta get through the beginning.
Just get through the beginning. It's worth it, I promise.
So
Morgan, tell everybody what you're reading right now.
I am picking up next the second book to A Theory of Drowning, called A Theory of Dreaming by Ava Reed. I'm super excited talking about that my end of the year needs to be cozy fantasy. This goes there. What are you reading?
I'm doing the opposite, and I am just torturing myself. So I made a really big boo-boo. I'm doing Pierce Brown, and I'm doing Dark Age. I am so limping through these final books because once I start, I can't put them down. So I started this, but I haven't been reading it for the last 2 weeks because I haven't had time to just sit here and consume it. But I also made a huge mistake. I grabbed Lightbringer.
Did you read it out of order by accident?
Yep. I read the first 2 chapters and I found out a couple people died.
No! I hate it when that happens.
God, I'm so mad at myself.
I mean, it happens sometimes, though. Like, you don't realize until you're in it that you're in the wrong order. It fucking happens.
Yeah. It was just how I put them on the shelf. I must have been moving stuff around. I just actually size and whatever. I messed up and I did that. So I kept going a little bit further because I thought, he doesn't do off-page stats. I can't see him going back like this. It didn't make sense for his style of writing. And then I went ahead, and then he was talking about an event that happened. I'm like, that didn't happen. Shit. So yeah, I did.
I'm glad you didn't get any further. I'm glad you
Me
realized
too.
it a couple chapters in, but also, damn it.
Me too. Yep. This is honestly one of the best series I've ever read in my entire life. It's so good. And it just keeps getting better. I don't have enough time to sit here and go on and on about it. I went back and I reread the first 3 books again before I came to finish the last 3 books. And I read the first 3 books at the top of the year.
Okay, we will be back next time with our final deep dive of The Songbird and the Heart of Stone, part 6 and 7 by Carissa Broadbent.
And that's been our show. Stay filthy. Your hosts, producers, and audio magicians are Heather Baxendale and Morgan DeRocher, who somehow make this show happen with a combination of enthusiasm and emotional damage. Our theme music is Magistar by Kevin MacLeod at Incompetech.com. You can find A Pod of Wings and Filth on all major streaming platforms and our home base at Podomatic. Follow us on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube at A Pod of Wings and Filth for updates and fun content. And don't forget to check out the show notes for important links. If you're loving the pod, please give us a follow or drop a rating. Your support keeps the magic alive and helps other romantasy readers find us.